Okay, we're live. Cool. Hi. How was spring break, Julia?
It was so much fun. I'm like so sad it's over.
You were in Miami, right? Was the weather nice?
It was so nice, and then we decided to spontaneously just like go to Disney on Friday, and it
Fun.
was really nice. It was like really cool.
Oh!
It was very sunny and warm, and now here in PA it's just cloudy and cold all the time.
Oh no. Just one day at Disney?
Yeah, it was very random.
Okay.
It was like after we were just like, let's just go on Friday, decide. We had to see which parks were open for that day, so we went to Epcot. It was fun.
Awesome.
It was really nice.
Do you want to kick us off today and share what you're working on today? Maybe your focus, any blockers?
Yeah, so I've been working on making more TikTok videos since I wasn't making any last week. So I made a bunch yesterday. I'm also working on finding some clubs and organizations of universities that we can reach out to. And I'm also working on kind of repurposing, I want to say, like blog posts into TikToks.
Okay.
Trying to make like a series of some posts just to have more actual content, not just humor on TikTok.
Great. Awesome. Cool. You want to pick who you want to see go next?
I'm gonna pick Fidel.
Cool.
Sure. Hi. Is anyone else like? I feel like the times that like the jump forward, the hour ahead jump forward, is kicking my butt like a lot.
Yeah.
And I usually wake up very early. I wake up at like at 6 a.m. almost every day, but that also means that I'm waking up like at 5 a.m. Like my body is still there, and
I missed a morning meeting this morning because I didn't set an alarm because I was like, oh, I'll just naturally wake up like I do every day, and then it was like 9:17 when I woke up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. With regards to what I'm doing today, so we're getting a lot of traction, or rather, I don't want to say a lot of traction, but there's more traction on Quora. Certainly by changing sort of the strategy and just sort of focusing more on essentially like posting answers for questions that people are actually following.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to compile quite a few of them that I do plan on answering today. It seems that I think after having talked to Vivian yesterday, there's definitely a path to growing this, or quote unquote, organically, and that it is quite possible. So we're going to focus on this mostly because Wikipedia is not really letting us go through posting backlinks.
Yep.
Or rather, they're very good at taking them down.
They are, yeah.
And so we're going to focus on this, maybe start looking into other community boards like Reddit, although we're approaching that a little bit more hesitantly.
Yeah.
But in terms of sort of a game plan, definitely Quora, I think, is a good stepping stone for a lot of sort of, I guess, I don't know what to call it, like sort of like back-end marketing about
Awareness building.
Awareness building, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what I'll be focusing on, I think, for at least in the next coming days.
Cool. See it as more of an experiment in terms of us exploring what are the different ways of reaching audiences where they currently are.
Yes.
Cool.
I think like from when we first started, when I first started doing Quora, we would get like maybe 4 views on something, and now I think we're at 229 views, which I think is really good.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, it's only been like a week. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Yep.
My goal is to get upvotes now, because I feel like the moment the upvotes start coming in, I think that's when your viewership really skyrockets.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't know if you guys have Quora have like a separate Quora account. If you guys want to go in and like, if Fidel, maybe if you share it in the Slack channel for Standup, yeah, and maybe like if we all have our own separate Quora account, we can go in and like upvote it.
Yes. that would be great if you guys have
Yeah.
that. I'll certainly do that with my own. And you can basically just look up Vivian and you'll see all of the questions that I've answered on her profile.
Share it in the stand-up channel, so then even the ones who are not joining us today have an opportunity to take a look at that.
Right.
Cool.
Will do.
Cool.
Maybe for the next one, I'll go with Lucy.
Okay. Cool. So today I'm working on some things around email prioritization and brainstorming some cool things for an app, and with Vivian, and I've kind of like because for like engineering things that need to be done, so we're kind of like getting ahead of that, and wanna Julia, when we were talking about how like the content of working with different reaching out, like I'd love to know more about the process of how companies are like reaching out to clubs to work individually on content rather than like as a club, and then think about some ways that we can also reach out to individuals, but I'd also like to start brainstorming the topics and like what type of content and the layout, so that when we pitch, it's like not vague. It's kind of like, this isn't a lot of reach for you, and like you can make it creative, but it's not a lot of lift for you. But you can still make it creative, but if you just want to plug and play, like here's some options of content. So maybe we can find some time for that today. And yeah, I think that's like the biggest stuff for me.
Cool.
Annie.
Okay, so sorry, my camera's not working today, guys. So today, I decided to take a different approach in user engagement and retention, and I was a little sad that we didn't have our meeting yesterday, Lucy and Vivian. I really wanted to share these ideas with you, but I want to be able to encourage others. I first of all want to start by establishing a sense of community. So I figured that I'll also take the time in logging on to my own personal account just to break that silence and start asking my own icebreakers that would encourage other users to also, answer, and then inspire them to also ask questions of their own. That's anything that's job related or career related or anything like that. So that's the kind of community that I want to establish by first inspiring others to not be afraid to ask questions with our users on the app, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And as well as, focusing on creating company content for our companies listed on the platform.
Yep.
I'm doing a lot of research right now. I'm trying to figure out some of the elements that I want to put in. And maybe, I'll Slack you and Lucy later today and see what you think. These might be good starting elements to put on company profiles. And then, just continuing to do user engagement and retention on the app by spending more time on the app. And then, Lucy, I got your email on Notion today, or I saw it today. No, you tagged me in it yesterday. I'll find a company to spotlight and feature for this week. And yeah.
What? Sorry, I was playing the content calendar yesterday, so I was duplicating cards, and I probably so it probably pinged you. But yeah, if we have a couple more companies in that list, that'd be great.
Okay.
One thing I will say, Annie, is Lucy and I had a meeting this morning about metrics, and we were looking sort of at the in-app performance. What's interesting is we had 360 something responses on icebreakers already, which is huge.
In total?
Yeah, which is huge, right?
Okay.
which is like, it's not so much that there's a silence problem, but it's a problem of how do we make sure that people know that there are these icebreakers, right? So this is why it's so critical for us to work on missions, which is what Lucy and I are working on right now, because people, when they know that there are icebreakers and are able to discover it, it's not a matter of people not engaging with it. Right now it's a discoverability issue. Right, so figuring out how do we encourage more people to discover them, because as you know, we haven't really done much in terms of like encouraging people to answer these icebreaker questions, so it's all organic. To have 300 something, like on average, I think each icebreaker had about 17 responses, right? And the icebreakers are kind of just like a question that's posted either by a company or by us or whatever, right? And people are actually participating in it. So I think it's about like also making people feel like it's hard digitally. So figuring out how do you make people feel like there is that intimate feel when you go to a party and able to physically see people and actions going on. So I think that's kind of the experience I'm trying to mimic, right? Like, how do you make it so that there's a lot of people on the platform, but how do you make it so that it feels like your people on the platform and that it doesn't feel too intimidating that there's a lot of people, and also doesn't feel like it's too intimidating because no one is starting the conversation. So I think it's a fine balance that we can do craft to sort of bring some of those like feelings that we want in Rise to the in-app feed experience we have now.
Okay, that makes sense.
So for me, my goal today is literally to focus on the missions. Lucy and I, she mentioned that we have a meeting later today, so this is super important. For the missions is kind of my answer to how do we have people discover more of the things that they could do in app and provide a more guided experience. Yeah, that's something that hopefully by the end of the day we'll have a working draft to get started.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. I think that's it then. 13 minutes, which is pretty good for 5 people stand up. So I think that's, I'll talk to you guys all in the Slack then.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.